What can make a grown man cry? So Kanye West running for president at a campaign rally. Well, he breaks down and cries. So before we listen to the audio and talk about it, let me first say this. We all know about Kanye's mental health issues, and I'm not bringing it up to excuse, to diminish, to highlight, or even make light of this very serious issue. But because I believe that what he said is far more important in relation to the reason, and it had very little to do with his mental health, that's the reason why I want to give you this PSA, this public service announcement. So this video is not making light of any mental health issues. I just want to make sure I communicate that. So let's listen to the audio and then let's talk about it.
Saved my life. My dad wanted to abort me. My mom saved my life. There would have been no Kanye West because my dad was too busy.
So what did he say? So Kanye's like 43. I believe he's 43 years old. And he's talking about a hurt from his father. Not as a child, not as a teen, or even a young adult. But he's talking about a hurt as a fetus. Like when he was in his mother's womb. Who told him about this thing with his father, this issue with his father? It had to be his mom, of course. The question is why? And I believe that, this is something that shouldn't have been told to him. If at all, it should have been communicated to him by his father. But yet and still, it was communicated and it created a pain. Unfortunately, this isn't, this isn't abnormal where mothers turn their children against their fathers on purpose. Sometimes by mistake, but most of the time on purpose because they've got, unresolved issues with the father. So by revealing, certain things that either shouldn't be revealed or best should have been revealed by the father, now Kanye has this fatherless pain. I remember personally, my mom, because of the pain my father caused her, she did the same thing to me. She didn't, again, let me preface this by saying she didn't have to do much though, because I was already trending in that direction. I already had enough hate, and animosity towards my father in my heart anyway. And the pain of fatherlessness, it can show up in many different ways. And let me say this too. To be there physically as a father, to be there, to be physically present, doesn't necessarily shield a child from a fatherless pain, because you can be there and not be there. How many people we know whose father was there, but not really there, right? He's just coming and going. I didn't experience this, by the way, but my father being present, but not, I didn't experience that. He just wasn't there. And the pain of that produced stuff in me that took a lifetime to cycle out of me. It wasn't until I found Jesus. It wasn't until I was able to wrap that part of my life up and forgive him that I was able to move on. You are exactly what your father made you, whether he's absent or not. So any unforgiveness, any anger, any rebellion, identity crisis, confusion, a misguided purpose, any of these things that you may be experiencing or struggling with, it's a direct result of your father being there or not there, depending on what type of father he was. And I'm talking about the negative things, obviously. You know, fathers are called to be the cornerstones of purpose. We're supposed to be restoring a degree of purpose to the world. We're supposed to be leading humanity in reaching its full potential, starting with our own households. The most important component of the human family is the father. I mean, most people know that. We just don't act like it always. So go the father, so go the community, so go the nation, so go the world. So what was Kanye talking about? I mean, what was this pain? It's been said foolishly, by the way, that racism, white supremacy is the biggest threat to black Americans, or the biggest threat to humanity. That's a foolish lie, people. Fathers, or the lack thereof, is the biggest threat. Fathers are supposed to be the evidence of good advice, sound counsel, discipline, clarity. You know, I had to slide that in. And proof that a child's life matters. I myself have not been a perfect father by any means, like I'm sure many fathers can contest to. But what I have decided to do, or I had decided to do when I first became a father was, with all my kids, was I was going to be that voice of reason. I was going to give direction. I was going to support some things that my father didn't do for me. So Kanye is expressing something in tears that's being expressed through anger and misguided purpose and confusion, insecurity, you know, angry outbursts by a lot of black and brown young men throughout our urban communities. You know, there's an old ancient proverb that says, I will, God, turn the hearts of the fathers to their children and their hearts of children to their fathers. Otherwise, I will come and strike the land with a curse. I truly do believe we're experiencing that right now. If the fathers were doing their job, if we as fathers were doing our job, there wouldn't be no crime and our kids wouldn't get killed. There wouldn't be any jails. If fathers were doing their job, there wouldn't be any race baiters because there wouldn't be any race relation issues. If fathers were doing their job, there wouldn't be any racism. There wouldn't be any social justice issues to fight. If fathers were doing their job, there wouldn't be any affirmation cliches to chant, promote, and or support Black Lives Matter. I couldn't be fooled into believing that my skin color affirms my identity. Like if fathers were doing their job. Watch this. I wouldn't demand or need to be identified as an African American because the origin of my identity comes from a place that I can be proud of. It'll come from my father, not some continent. The absence and dishonoring of fathers is the problem. And because all of this, it's causing all of this social unrest. I know this isn't like sexy enough, juicy enough information, but it's the truth. It's the seed of clarity. One last thing, people. The father is the position and the function, not the title. See, I can be a father. I can have the title, but I can be functioning. I could be malfunctioning as a father. There's a lot of us in that position. If we really serious about racism, social unrest, civil disorder, crime, police abuse, and all these personal and social and national problems we're dealing with, we're going to have to be honest with ourselves as fathers about the fatherless pain we're contributing to. That's what Kanye West was expressing in that video. The real issue is fatherlessness. Listen, folks, I can keep talking about this, but I want you to watch my videos. So please subscribe, like, and share, and continue to tune in for more valuable content like this that promotes clear, conscious thought. Thank you guys for tuning in. Take care.